Main
We're
attraction.
there.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
one, go.
It's disembodied.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
just is.
That Bloodlet record is fantastic,
So-
but
Yeah. It's not.
I'm with
It's
Casey.
unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
it's
It didn't
unfair.
stand a chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like Bloodlet should have had a
Alternative
better
question.
matchup.
Is there anything that exists with this group of people here on the call that would beat that disembodied record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could we have put anything right here that would beat it?
Yeah. It's the thing that wins.
What?
You'll see.
Okay.
That's so cryptic.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, Florida. All right, number two.
See,
Caven.
now this is a fair matchup to me. I actually
No,
like Jane Doe
Caven.
better than Caven.
Caven.
I don't like Jane Doe. That's
I love it, man.
opinion. I don't like Jane Doe.
I was surprised that Jane Doe made it through and not one of their earlier records.
Yeah. I
It
don't
really
know why
caught me
we
off
didn't-
guard.
I went and listened to Jane Doe when we were doing this to remind myself if I in fact didn't like it, and I don't like it. I don't think it's as good as
Why though?
Petitioning the Empty Sky or
Okay.
It
Right. Well,
sounds
petitioning the empty
so
sky is
different.
different though. Or the split, the split that they have. I actually think the split is the
agoraphobic
better.
nosebleed?
Yes, the
Yeah.
agoraphobic nosebleed split is the best converge
Yeah,
record.
totally.
Yeah, true.
But Jane Doe for me is number 2.
It's just
It comes in so hard though, man.
It doesn't
It's
feel like
fucking
conversion.
so good.
Though. It's too fast and it's too
Too
punk rock.
fast. Like, the only thing wrong with Jane Doe is that it doesn't have Locust Rain.
That is a great song.
Or the
fucking love that
convert,
song.
or the
Or
the Cure
Great
cover song,
Devastator.
because that's the other song.
Or
That's
the,
so fucking
yeah.
good. That's like the best Converge song there is that song.
Which song?
The Cure Disintegration is the
Oh.
best Converge song.
Hey, the Cure sucks. So,
Yeah, they do. But the fucking cover is amazing.
Caven's my choice.
Same. I think that takes it. So we'll come back to that. Disembodied Cave-In. That'll be interesting. Those are the two that we had in common that everyone picked. All right. Let's get technical.
You don't even need to answer this one. You already know what I'm going to say.
I mean,
You
I'm
do go on a lot of Dillinger Escape Plan shirts.
Yeah, that band holds it. That band would beat out Disembodied for me.
Dillinger.
That record, yeah, that record would beat out Disembodied for me.
You might get there.
Yeah.
I pick Botch.
I think I pick Botch.
Before you guys jumped on, Casey said, I thought everyone hated Botch.
That's funny because I said that. I said that as well.
Yeah.
But the record stands up really, really.
It's a
well.
good record.
It was like
man.
the West Coast version of Cave-In and Converger.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the only reason I wouldn't pick Botch in this sense is because Dillinger Escape Plan was way more fucking influential for me.
Yeah.
If
So-
Miss Machine were in this against Botch, I would choose Miss Machine. But
Yeah. And I would
There's
choose
definitely
Botch.
the round that we're in here. I might pick that as well, Trevor. But so I think we're split. Trevor, what's your vote?
I vote Botch.
Drew?
I think I'm going Botch.
I'm going Dillinger.
We need Casey
Byron's
as
going
the.
Dillinger.
We need Casey as the
Casey
break vote.
tiebreaker. Tell Rosie to get back in bed so she can come so Casey can come back.
I know.
He's doing dad duty.
His dad-
Let's
his
re-
dad did.
Let's return to this one when he gets
Yep.
back and just make him make the call off the hit.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can get a majority here.
Damn.
I'm choosing Snapcase because I don't think Shai Halud's good.
Fair. I love that Snapcase record, but I listened to Shai Hulud more. I just did. So I gotta go that Shai Hulud.
You know, between these two records, I would say I probably listened to them evenly. So this is a tough one for me. Yeah, I mean, fuck that. Damn it. I think I would go Shai Hulud as well.
I think I'm going Snapcase.
Okay. I'm seeing a trend.
Gonna say you might as well just carry that Snapcase record over because I can tell you right now that's where Casey's going.
We'll wait. We'll ask him.
All
We'll
right.
ask him.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to save you time, Dan. That's all I'm trying to do.
This was 100% the hardest one for me because these are like my in the top 5, maybe higher.
Yeah.
I respect Dead Guy, but I never got into Dead Guy, so I would choose Turmoil here.
Yeah. I would.
We have talked about how like Turmoil is sort of like a part of the demographic for anyone that likes people who think this is the best hardcore record of all time. And I do think front to back it is. So I'm going to go Turmoil too.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I've never listened to Dead Guy, so it's definitely Turmoil.
See, now you got some homework.
You know who's not going to like that decision?
Casey. Absolutely.
All right. We managed to get one more.
I see what you're doing here, Dan, and this is clever because you pit two records here that
Trevor told me to. He said you've got to make this competitive like a real bracket.
it's smart.
So I thought
It's smart.
through it.
This one's hard.
Yeah, this one's really hard.
Yeah, this is the all the others have been a snap decision for me, but this one is going to be tough, and I'm going to go with Buried Alive. I love that Unbroken. I love that Unbroken record, but that Buried Alive record had so much more influence on me as like a hardcore kid than Unbroken ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to say the same because my soul was like, that Unbroken record is so great and it's so important. But if I'm just judging the way we said, which is like, what did you listen to more? It's Buried Alive.
Yep.
Buried Alive.
Oh, good. I don't even have to vote then.
No, you
What's
have
your
to
vote?
anyway. You
No,
gotta choose.
I actually would go Buried Alive as well. That Unbroken record, like you said, it's so iconic. It's fucking very good. But Buried Alive was way more. It was just more in my world, in my realm.
Am I the only one that can't? Sorry, Trevor.
I was going to say, it's like if we're judging on like what's going to get us the most scene points, you choose Unbroken. But if you're judging on what actually I've listened to more times than the other one, it's Buried Alive, and it's not close.
I think that record, that Buried Alive in general, but that record in particular is underrated when it comes to the guitar, the songwriting on guitar.
That's
Like,
we took that
it's
Buried
so
Alive record in.
unique for a fast, heavy hardcore record, and it's
It
so
is.
intricate and interesting. So let's come back to this. Casey's back.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got tiebreakers. What's your call?
So here's the thing. It's got to be
HTT.
Botch because start to finish, that's a better album because
Oh,
Calculating
fuck you,
Infinity
Casey.
is-
No.
No, listen.
I will not have you blaspheme Calculating
Is
Infinity.
amazing, but go back and listen to it because really that album is two things. It's sugar coated and 43%. That's it, and then the rest of it is fucking just whatever. Listen to it. Those two songs better than any two songs on that Botch album? No, but they're close. And the Botch album has the best song from the first Botch album on the We Are the Romans. So it has the best song from the other album and the best songs from this album. It just wins.
Tiebreaker number 2.
Snapcase.
Told
I
you.
hate Shai Hulud. I can't even be impartial. I hate him.
This one's kind of on the edge. This one's a little bit out there. Candiria, 300%
Oh.
versus Life of Agony.
Is this Salt Lake or is this the world?
This is your listening behavior. This is your love, your heart, your soul.
I mean,
love
it's,
Candiria.
if it's heart and soul, I'm Life of Agony without even a second thought.
Yeah.
Candiria is a great band, and they're like this album in particular is like technically proficient. And like the first time I saw them live, I was like blown away. I was like, how the fuck can one band do all of these things, and how can one band do all of these things so well?
Mm-hmm.
But in the sheer amount of like hours that I've spent listening to a band, Life of Agony just takes the cake. Have never listened to. I don't think I could listen to one album more than I've listened to River Runs Red by Life of Agony. That might not be true, but in compared to Candiria 300% Density, it's Life of Agony, and it's not close.
Yeah. I think if this was process of self-development, I would go Candiria without hesitation.
No, it's not as good. I listened to both of them the other day. Listen to them again. Did you?
I listen to them regularly. I love that
Process
record.
is better than 300% Density as a whole.
I do.
I love both of them, but also both of them are the only good albums. And maybe Coma, but after that it's dog shit, and I don't know what happened. It goes so wrong.
Well, okay, so the reason for that for me is all of the sort of jazzy tracks that were on the sort of the original release.
Yeah.
Those all just struck the right chord with me. You know, I was always kind of more the hip hop hardcore kid in our scene, and I realize 300% Density has some rap in it and whatnot, but I mean like those jazz tracks that are just so like out in left field, I fucking love them.
I have a Life of Agony all the way, but there's also an element of like, first record was on a major label. It's a great record. It's a seminal piece of hardcore and metal coming together. But they were like Bedroom to the Bus band. They weren't really a hardcore band.
Yeah.
That's the thing that Casey and I talked about Life of Agony. Like I had Life of Agony on mine, and Casey was like, does that mean Typo Negative counts also?
Right, yeah.
Because
or Machine
they're like
Head.
Same kind of vein, but like
Does Machine Head
I just
count?
put Life of Agony on because again, like.
But there are hardcore kids, right? Because every hardcore kid from New York, like that is like that Madball era, like Madball, Shutdown, like all those that age group of kids, all say like Life of Agony and Typo Negative were like their homeboys and like hooked them up and like took care of them.
I think like none of us could say going back in time, but there was also like Biohazard.
Yeah.
And like the definitions of hardcore in New York, then there were many different hardcore scenes. So we could go into like a history lesson on like, did people consider any of those bands hardcore bands? Like Machine Head, Typo Negative, Life of Agony, whoever we were just talking about, Biohazard, because they all obviously came up in hardcore punk shows, but like they were shooting for a different end goal than a hardcore band.
Yeah.
All of them.
I think if you put this bracket, like Life of Agony against Candiria, in a different group of people, Life of Agony would get laughed out of the room.
Yeah, I think that's a huge Salt Lake thing. It's a massive Salt Lake thing. Yeah. And just like every other situation, Salt Lake being the hipster of hardcore, 10 years later, everybody is like copping bootleg Life of Agony hoodies. Like that was always the thing.
Yep.
So, be that what it may. I think though it would have been much harder for me to pick between Candiria and E-Town Concrete, but
no.
Mandibles is a jam. Okay, so we're going Life of Agony.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think people would have this question anymore. I think we're so inside baseball on it that like
oh yeah.
That we should probably just start a podcast called Is It Hardcore?
Yeah.
Okay. Celeste, Functioning on Impatience, Martyr, Human Condition.
Martyr.
Same. Martyr.
It's longer, it's heavier, it's crazier. I've listened to that thing probably 500 times.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Yeah,
and who else?
Yeah.
Who else squeals like a pig?
Hardcore band after this.
Yep. What was the band before Martyr? What?
Disembodied.
Disembodied.
That's right, Disembodied.
I thought it was a trick question.
I went completely blank. I was like, oh shit.
This hardcore podcast. Maybe he needs an Is This Hip Hop podcast.
We're hitting midnight, and I'm getting tired.
I have a hard time with this
coffee.
because I think I've listened to You Can't Kill Us All as much as I've listened to that whole Martyr record. That was like one of the first heavy hardcore songs that I ever obsessed on.
That was my problem with putting this particular Coalesce record on my list. Is like that first song, like You Can't Kill Us All. I know by heart. I know everything about it, and I know like it back to front. But everything, the next 7 songs or whatever that are on here, I can't really remember off the top of my head. Whereas there's like 5 or 6 Martyr songs on here that I'm just like, oh, yep, nope, I know exactly what that is. And the whole like, this Martyr record is where a band perfected those panic chords. Like they were apparent and disembodied, and then Martyr was just like, no, this is how you do them, and this is how you do them perfectly. And then every band from that point on was just like, fuck yes, this is what we're doing.
True.
Yeah, but look at that Coalesce jewel case, though.
What's that?
That CD jewel case was so fucking awesome.
Oh, the Coalesce one?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
For sure. Again, like, that was awesome, and then the first song is amazing, and then everything after that, I don't really remember.
That's fair.
That was my problem with not putting
this
particular one on there.
For the same reason as Turmoil versus Dead Guy, that Martyr record front to back complete. And I liked it, like, for 10 years of us playing those dissonant chords, no one came up with a name for them. And then all of a sudden, someone's like, panic chords. And I was like, what's that? They're Martyr chords. And I was like, oh.
That's exactly. Like, I didn't know they were called panic chords until we started doing that advice column for earlier this year.
Yep.
And then they're like panic chords. It's like, oh, yeah, just the Martyr notes? Absolutely. I know what you're talking
Martyr
about.
chords.
For sure. Yeah.
I would just recognize them as disembodied chords. Yeah, it's the shit that Disembodied played. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know those.
Also,
panic chords? What the fuck is that?
Alarm clock riffs.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I hadn't heard that. That's good.
No, but I will say this, though. Martyr AD, their live show is probably one of the most memorable live shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
For sure.
They were super fucking good.
That show for me was huge. Mm-hmm. And part of it was Burden of Creation, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun show.
I mean, Coalesce
you guys were doing panic chords when panic chords were being invented.
Yeah, I mean, if we're being honest here, Burden of Creation was really just a ripoff of fucking Dillinger Escape Plan and like probably Luddite Clone. You know what I mean? Like it was just a kind of a mixture of like these different records that we would all listen to, and then we'd come back and be like, well, how can we do that exact same thing, but then like just claim it to be our own, But it was just kind of funny.
I think we do the same thing with Milk Money. So
yeah, that's true.
I think that's just how it works. Okay, let's put this one in. Goodbye.
Who said Victory Style 2?
Right now we've got Earth Crisis Destroy the Machines versus all of Victory Style 2. Featuring Earth Crisis.
This was one of those things that, like, when I showed Casey my list, and he was like, does Victory Style 2 count? I was like, Dan gave no guidelines, so yes, it counts.
Yep. I mean, it's got to win.
That's it, yeah.
All right, somebody else go. Who take the reins? I'm going to choose.
Handed that thing out like fucking. Here, something on here will appeal to you. Join the ranks.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Are you in? It's like a when they give, like, when you join a cult and they give you the handbook. It's like,
yep.
Like back in the Christian people at the airport that were handing out the books. Like, this is just our version of the Salt Lake hardcore version of that. Victory Style 2. Here you are. Welcome to the scene. Good luck.
Jesus, man. I'm looking on there. I'm like, Warzone. I haven't listened to Warzone in years. That's crazy.
I'm picking Victory Style 2.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah, I think it is. I just think
that was so important. We were
Yep.
talking about this,
Yeah.
like pre-internet compilations, being introduced to like just the first 3 songs, let alone Rise, let alone Dead Guy, like that defined my entire 14 to 18-year-old life was defined by that record.
Yeah.
And obviously
And you could-
George Strait came out of it, but like that was it.
Yeah,
Well-
it's next level. That's my vote.
You know what else was pretty good? That Catch-22 song that was on Victory Style 3.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
That's a
the
good song. The ska song.
yeah, I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's like the only Catch-22 song that I think anybody knows.
Yeah.
So
They're the most precious blood of ska.
yeah.
Okay. Next header. Integrity.
This
Those
is
who
a-
fear tomorrow versus Section
this
8.
is just like
9
a
ways to say I love you.
sacrificial lamb.
Not
Oh,
for
man.
most.
Sacrificial
I
lamb.
think most hardcore kids of any generation would instantly say Integrity in this. Because I think Section 8 also had a Salt Lake relevance.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many bands that we still have to talk about that was not shared everywhere else.
Yeah,
I agree.
that
with
album rules, and it would have beaten other things on here, but not the fucking this like the godfather of like metallic hardcore.
This here is sort of a personality test. That's the only way I can explain it. Starkweather. I just put Into the Wire on here because there were votes for Crossbearer, Into the Wire together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Starkweather, Into the Wire, Hatebreed, Satisfaction is the Death of Desire. Which one did you honestly listen to and love more?
Hatebreed.
Hatebreed. I just never liked Starkweather.
I listened to that Hatebreed record a lot and loved it. But I think like if you're like a specific group of people from a specific era, you listen to that fucking I remember like bringing Brooke to his first show and him asking me like what fucking like 5 albums, like Overcast, Starkweather, like going to Graywell with him like to buy shit and just being like, here are the things we all listen to all the time. And him not liking any of them.
I gotta go Starkweather too because there's something about the collision of the riffs on that and his vocal style that I can't get out of my head to this day. Like there are riffs in there that like I literally like felt conscious all the time.
We know Drew's vote. Nice.
Oh man,
Nicely
Perfect.
done.
So,
Perfect.
Yep.
for those
I
listening
love-
to this, Drew just broke the tie by
Yeah.
presenting.
I think it deserves it.
Which is kind of funny because
Hatebreed shirt.
I would have a hard time not believing that somebody came in here and be like, Starkweather should have won. You know,
I love Starkweather, and I think that album is good. But again, it's one of those things that like I can't, in good conscience, not let Hatebreed move. Hatebreed's not losing in the first round.
No.
Like there's no
All I'm
fucking
saying-
way.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that if you picked Hatebreed, Satisfaction over Starkweather, you also think Trump won this election. That's just
No.
oh,
Yes. If you're on that demographic side of the fence, welcome to your new friends. Okay, let's flip big time over to
Okay.
Kill Switch Engage, End of Heartache versus Shadows Fall of One Blood.
oh shit, that's a good record.
Of One Blood.
We can also talk about which font is more cool in this distressed style.
That's true. I mean, logos. We got competing logos here too. That's a
Now,
tough one.
are they basically the same band? Aren't they?
No.
Aren't they? Didn't
They're
they
as
all
much the
come?
same band as Aftershock and Overcast are.
But yeah,
That's
didn't
how
they
I was
all come from Aftershock? Like, didn't Aftershock go like that?
I
God,
think
dude.
they did. Yeah.
They
I
split
forgot.
in half.
Yeah, there's a couple
Yeah.
people from Aftershock in Killswitch, and there's a couple people from Aftershock in Shadows Fall. But Shadows Fall took this record, or I think Shadows Fall has the guy from Overcast.
In
Yeah.
This
this record.
Killswitch record is the
Howard.
first Howard record that had From Blood Has Been Shed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That Shadows Fall record for me is fucking amazing. And I don't really like the Howard.
I'll go with Killswitch Engage.
If you're gonna pick
Yeah.
a Howard album, this is it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
Shadows
If I
Fall.
were judging, yeah, I gotta say Killswitch.
Shadows Fall
too.
was
And it
Shadows Fall
kicked
was
off-
fun, but this Killswitch album was pretty big for me.
A
so.
noble
That's the thing.
sacrifice.
I love the first couple songs on that Shadows Fall record are really good, but there's just everything about this Killswitch record is like this and Hatebreed's the second Hatebreed album are basically what made all of our bands when in the mid 2000s relevant. Like people were like,
That's fair to say.
this is Hot Topic hardcore right here, and this is how
Yep.
this is how all the like weird people that would come to our shows be like, oh, you're in a hardcore band? Oh, I love Killswitch Engage.
Okay.
Whew.
Next stop, we're going into the Slayer ripoff round here. Undying Whispered Lies of Angels versus Archangel Prayers Upon Deaf Ears.
Okay, so let me kick off first by saying I had Undying on my list, but since I send it over as a playlist, This Day All Gods Die is not on Spotify. So I look at Undying and I think This Day All Gods Die, and that's it for me. Archangel can take a hike.
Euros, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Undying as well. As much as I love Archangel, I'm gonna go with Undying. Just had a greater influence on me personally and what I did playing in bands.
Yeah.
Same. I love that. I especially love that Archangel release because of the like ridiculous classical music and all of the like apocalyptic shit. Like I still, as corny as that is, I still
Yeah.
think it's so cool. But
Yeah, for
Undying
sure.
had substance to it that really influenced me. Like I learned from those songs as a little kid.
Exactly, and that's what
Yeah.
it is. Like if we're talking like just sheer coolness, you're gonna pick the European metal band that talks about Jesus all the time and the all the weird parts of the Bible. But if you're talking about like what, but really it's like Undying, like Dan said, I learned something from it. I was like, oh, this is the kind of stuff that you do to get other people into these bands.
I will say I do remember somebody had that Archangel cover tattooed on their arm. I can't remember who it was.
Based
Is it
on
Austin?
artwork, it's definitely Archangel. But
Yeah, I don't know. I know there definitely is somebody, but I don't know who it is.
I can't remember who it was. I remember seeing it unfinished, and I would
Rose,
be hard
please.
pressed to think that it ever got finished. But yeah.
I have a follow-up question. What was cooler merch? The Undying hoodie with the Daniel Quinn shell or the Archangel Windbreaker?
Windbreaker for sure.
Windbreaker, yeah. Yeah, going on merch, Archangel goes through.
Yeah. Unfuckwithable. It's just amazing how, like, I just remember seeing it and being like, I want that. Like,
Yeah,
Yep.
one of
exactly.
the first pieces of clothing where I was like, that looks cool. And in hindsight, all it was is that logo scrawled.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, obviously you can date it by saying Windbreaker, so.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of dated, we're going to reverse from that Killswitch Shadows Fall round to Aftershock Through the Looking Glass. Wait,
Yeah.
is that his name?
Yeah.
Or Overcast, Expectational. I'm not sure if that's a word. Dilution. They had those like Discog records that came out, but this was the only one on that was like an actual record, so I put this down.
Yeah, that's the thing is like the one on Spotify is like all of their stuff put together, where this is like their actual full length. There's like a 4-song EP that's really good, but this is the full length, and I'm absolutely picking Aftershock or Overcast.
Yeah.
Overcast, Expectation, or Delusion.
It's Aftershock for me.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, this is kind of the same reason I'm picking Killswitch over Shadows Fall, in that I was much more attracted to the way that Aftershock and Killswitch used that at the gate sound in like a darker way versus the like, we're kind of Metallica, which was like Overcast and Shadows Fall to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why Aftershock, it just felt like in the vein of Archangel, even though it was a little bit different, it felt a little more evil to me. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You're gonna have to break this one, Drew.
Yeah, I think even though I'm not super versed on either of them too, definitely I would lean towards Aftershock.
yeah.
Take that, old guys.
I like Aftershock. They were on my list too.
I think
You know what? They weren't on
Aftershock-
my list, but they should have been. I totally
I think
spaced it.
Aftershock is one of the reasons why bands like As I Lay Dying didn't hit me. Like Undying and Aftershock, these two bands right here were the bands that took At the Gates and did it with substance to me.
Yeah.
So that's why once As I Lay Dying arrived, I was kind of like I've heard that, and to your point, Trevor, like Undying went so deep into these things it felt like they mattered to, like existentially.
Yep.
Speaking of melodic metalcore, our next header is Bleeding Through's This Is Love, This Is Murderous.
This is like
versus
brothers
18
fighting.
Visions Until the Ink Runs Out. Only one person voted for that 18 Visions record, but I brought it in because this pairing just felt like it had to happen.
Wow. I'm the only one that picked that 18 Visions record?
That's a good record.
It is. I didn't even think of it, to be honest. That is a good record. They're both good records. That's a tough one, man.
I knew people would say that. That's why I brought it in.
Yeah.
Therein lies the problem with 18 Visions. This is such a good record, such an influential record on Salt Lake hardcore in general, and the fact that like 18 Visions became what they became later soured so many people on them that they just like, it's basically like they've forced themselves to forget how good Until the Ink Runs Out is. But Until the Ink Runs Out, if you listen to it now, like it is, and they were so close with like the Clear dudes and the Lifeless dudes that it like influenced so much about Salt Lake hardcore, and it's just like willful ignorance that they just don't want to believe that it's good. But Until the Ink Runs Out is so fucking heavy and so good, so well crafted that that's my pick.
I have gone back and listened to that one, and it's super fucking heavy. It's well done. I mean, the ties to Salt Lake hardcore with Mick. I mean,
yeah, that's the album that Mick came on.
That he came on, yeah.
He toured on that album with them.
Yeah, he didn't record on it, but they recruited Mick to play on it, but it was super important.
Yeah.
I stole the album from them at Hellfest in 2000, and then they asked Mick to be in the band, and then I gave them money retroactively because I felt bad.
Last one, Damnation AD, No More Dreams of Happy Endings versus Blood Has Been Shed, the other link in the Kill Switch puzzle.
Blood Isn't Shed for me. I have vivid memories of them playing live, and I just remember how fucking heavy they were, how brutal it was. I also remember Howard popping in and be like, "Do you guys have any black people in Utah?" So I always thought that was funny.
You've been waiting for that moment your entire life.
Yeah. But I just remember that show just being super heavy, super brutal, super fun show. But the record itself is fantastic. Record.
Yeah. I love that Blood Has Been Shed record more than Aftershock or Overcast. I've played that thing to death on CD in a jewel case. But my appreciation, like my real love, goes to Damnation here. Because I just think it's so important. And those songs, the songwriting on Damnation was so interesting because it's pretty traditional. Like it's traditional songwriting, but it's so heavy. So I have to go Damnation. Two Damnation, one Blood Has Been Shed.
Damnation.
Damnation. Back to Drew.
I'd probably go Blood Has Been Shed.
I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with it. It's
No.
such a good record. I think it's also like, it stands the test of time.
Yeah, I think we're rounding out like 2 hours now.
I can't wait. I can already see like the tweet for this. It's like, have you been waiting all your life to listen to five guys in their 30s talk about metalcore from 20 years ago?
Yeah.
It's your lucky day. Oh, this is kind of a big deal. Disembodied, If God Only Knew versus Cave-In. Till Your Heart Stops.
I want Casey. You have to answer first.
Is it right? Are we gonna pick this on who wrote I don't know. It's disembodied.
No, just on your heart. There's
Disembodied.
No judgment on like.
Disembodied, I think. For me and for.
These are the only two we all agreed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
That's a toughie.
I still listen to it every day.
Damn, dude.
It's my alarm currently, which is why I thought it was funny when Drew said alarm. It's like I wake up in the morning to.
I gotta go Cave-In. I just have to. It's much a little bit.
It's
deeper.
like this is like the difference between like Cave-In is like the critics' choice. It's like the Oscar goes to Cave-In. But the People's Choice Award goes to Disembodied.
Yeah, that's actually like a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's
asshole's record for sure.
Competition.
It's Disembodied for me as well. God, I actually had that hoodie from that cover art. God,
Disembodied.
I miss it. It was so fucking cool. But yeah, it's Disembodied for me on that one.
I agree. I love that Cave-In record, and it's really good. But Disembodied is just, again, if you're going by what you've listened to the most in your time, because there's only 5 songs on that record, and you can listen to it 3 times in the span of the time you can listen to that.
Statistically speaking.
Yeah.
Drew,
But,
what was your call? Let's just round it out to see.
It's Disembodied for sure.
Yeah. Botch, We're the Romans versus Snapcase. I'm going Snapcase.
I'm going Snapcase as well.
I think I'd do Snapcase.
Yeah, I got to also.
I'll be the dissenter. I have bad memories.
Yeah,
of
when
this
nothing,
album.
when it doesn't count anymore. Damn it!
That's when I got punched in the eye.
Is that where that big like golf ball popped
And
up
then
on your phone?
we called you, Byron, and you passed along some information that led to a pretty eventful night with a lady.
Okay. This is before a prison term, right? If I recall correctly. Yeah. All right. I do remember that.
Turmoil is a better record than that album.
Yeah, I'm Turmoil all the way here.
I'm going Buried Alive.
I'm also going Buried Alive.
Damn.
Tiebreaker.
Damn. I did not expect that. We've got to change all of our band memes to included Turmoil.
Trevor's in love with Scott Vogel. What do we expect?
You know what though? Like, the runtime on both of those. The runtime on both of those records has to be exactly the same, right? With like the same average tempo of song.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically the same
It's
record.
probably the same tempo. It really comes down to whose riffs you like more.
Yeah.
And I like Homeboy from Turmoil's voice more. But
They're both good, man.
Life of Agony, River Runs Red, still questionable whether this is a hardcore record. Versus Martyr, Human Condition.
I mean, this is where Life Life of Agony, it was a pleasure having you here, but this is where you stop. This is where you get off the ride.
Yeah. I'm agree. That's two martyrs.
Yeah.
Yeah, martyr for sure.
Yeah.
5
This
martyrs.
one's got to be. This one's got to be unanimous. Life of Agony is an emotional piece, but
Yeah.
Martyr is the clear winner.
Yeah, 100%.
Integrity for sure.
Yeah, integrity. Oh man, look at this press photo.
Oh my God,
Did you see that?
Dwid, what have you become?
All right. This got interesting. Hatebreed, Satisfaction is the Death of Desire versus Killswitch, End of Heartache. On Hatebreed.
But yeah, much like Life of Agony, it's just like kill switch. Thanks for playing. Too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Drew, this has got to be a tough one for you.
Yeah, this feels like
This is not a tough
I-
one for
I-
you
I
at
could-
all.
It's not a tough one, even though I love both albums, but it's not a tough one.
Undying for me.
yeah, Undying
Yeah,
for the substance
Undying for
reason.
me.
Like I love the Aftershock record. I said both of these were so important, but like Undying had that added.
Yep.
I hate Undying, so I'll just vote against them. But I get it.
Tell us about the origin of your hatred for Undying.
Yeah.
That's a good-
I like
From
this
Seattle. Yeah, I went and saw them in Seattle when I was going to school there, and I went to a show, and he like got in my face and like grabbed my shirt, and I spit on him and threw him on the ground, and then it was like a thing after they finished playing. A bunch of people came up to talk to me, and I was, of course, like a fucking asshole. I was like, fuck all of you. And then there's a great part where I'm by myself, and a guy said, you better watch out. We're really good friends with Troy Trujillo. And then, like, I just laughed. But I just hated Undying because I don't like that. Like, I'm going to get in your face when I don't know who you are and, like, yell at you and grab your shirt. And
Yeah, I just want to.
say Trujillo.
yeah. And then I said, oh, okay, do you want me to call Troy Trujillo right now?
I've lost.
Okay, so I just want to break this down real quick.
Yeah.
So Casey does not like Undying because he grabbed his shirt.
And he, like, yelled in my face.
At a
and it
hardcore
bugged me.
show.
Okay, but
Yeah.
He was
no,
ugly and he yelled at you in your face. You're standing in the front row at a hardcore
He
show.
did- the
And he
singer for
yelled in your
Undying.
face.
When have I
Different
ever
Undying,
had a
different-
rational explanation for anything?
that's the beauty of it, Casey. I love it, man. I mean, I'm always excited for
And,
your
and I was
rationale.
the aggressor because I threw him down on the ground and spit on him.
Yeah.
Yep. Classic Casey. Classic Casey.
It doesn't make sense.
I
don't know
love it.
why. I just don't.
It makes sense because you said it. That's the only reason it makes sense.
I was mad and I was frustrated, so
18 Visions versus Blood Has Been Shed.
18 visions.
18 Visions.
I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. We're in, what do you call this round? The semifinals? The quarterfinals?
Round 1
The
a.m.
Royal Robins.
We went from 32 to 16. Now we're down to 8, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is
Quarters.
the Elite 8.
The Elite Eight.
The Elite 8.
Elite 8.
Yeah.
Disembodied, If
Yep.
God Only Knew versus Snapcase Progression.
Disembodied.
Yeah.
Disembodied.
They eat their lunch.
Good night, Daryl. Buried Alive versus Martyr.
My apologies to Scott Vogel, but I'm going to choose Martyr AD.
I'm going Martyr.
Martyr. All right.
This is
Integrity versus Hatebreed.
I go.
Integrity.
I go. Hatebreed.
I mean, that Hatebreed album is the first album on Victory to sell 10,000 records, right?
That's what
Like I
you're
said-
voting for?
Integrity came after for me. Hatebreed is, like I said, it was my gateway to all the bad decisions I made with you guys.
Like,
Integrity for me.
Integrity for me
integrity.
too.
I tried, Drew.
Hate
I
breeds?
tried.
Casey, is this the one you were talking about when you said the one that wins? Integrity?
yeah, it's the best album on this whole list.
You might be.
It's so
you might be
good.
wrong. You might
I
be
think you're.
wrong.
I think you're wrong.
So good.
Okay. Undying versus 18 Visions.
18 Visions.
Yeah.
Undying.
18 Visions.
18 Visions?
Yeah.
Just from production value too. That Undying album sounds like shit.
The five of us took 18 Visions all the way to the final four over Undying.
Final four.
I saw this one, and I think it's going to be harder than you think. Disembodied
It is.
versus Martyr. Which one was really a better record?
The Martyr record.
The Martyr record, yeah.
But I like
Production
the
wise,
Disembodied
you know what though?
song.
But if you can look at that Disembodied record with the remastering in Transfiguration, it holds up better than the Martyr one.
Yeah, that is
The
amazing
songs are all
what's
better.
done there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you sent that over to us, Dan, whenever that was, I remember
Yeah.
listening to it and just thinking, like, holy shit, I can hear shit in this song that I couldn't hear before.
That guy, Will Putney, is a wizard.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Disembodied just because I mean, without Disembodied, you don't have Martyr, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you liked it more.
No, that's true, but I mean, it's just like it's one of those bands like you listen to that Martyr record, and you're like, fuck, what would it be like if they just made another Disembodied record?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Casey said too. Still listening to that Disembodied every day, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is specific to Salt Lake, but the only thing I dislike Disembodied for is the fact that they were like the inspiration for Bleed So Lovely.
I mean, that is a knock on them for sure.
I mean, they've been the inspiration for a ton of shitty bands.
Oh my god, man.
Lots. They're probably more guilty than most bands for bad bands.
Oh,
This isn't
shit.
a question, right? This is not a
Integrity,
question, right?
Those Who Fear Tomorrow versus 18 Visions until the ink runs out.
No.
Integrity.
Fuck no. Yeah.
Integrity.
Okay. I was nervous there for a second. That was kind of like feeling like Pennsylvania.
We were
Both
just setting
came
them
in.
up to fall.
Okay, so this is where we've landed.
Which means we need to redo the bracket, I guess.
Guys, recount.
Burn it all down,
bottom-
start over.
Stop counting the top half. Keep counting the bottom.
Oh.
Disembodied, If God Only Knew. Integrity, Those Who Fear Tomorrow.
This is Disembodied for me.
This is basically like the only things that fucking play ever in my life. This is the soundtrack to my life.
This is the basis for every Salt Lake hardcore band right here.
For sure. 100%.
I'm picking Integrity.
It has more songs.
I mean, that's not the reason I'm picking it, but that's
Every single song is good on that album.
I'm having a really hard time with this.
that's the thing. It's like this is almost an impossible decision, and I'm just picking Integrity just because of
One's an album, one's an E EP.
no, not even that. That doesn't matter to me at all.
I think you just got to go with your heart. Your
That's
heart's
the thing,
saying
it's like you
something
just,
right
like,
now.
Which
Not
one
really
are you?
wrong answer.
You know, Casey, by your rationale, and since this is a Milk Money podcast, you would pick Reckon over Howl. I'm just saying.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm just saying. I mean, that's basically what the way you've...
On my top 10 albums to die on a deserted island with, both of these are in there, along with 36 Chambers and the Gravediggers, so...
Fuck yeah.
Gravediggers don't get enough credit.
No, that album's so fucking good.
That's from Byron's other podcast, Is This Hip Hop?
They've got so many good albums, and I feel like people only listen to the one.
They do. Integrity's the only band where I can hate every person in the band and still want to listen to the album every day. I hate them all. I can't even listen to the Misfits anymore because I hate Danzig so much.
Integrity is like Cherem. There are like 50 members of that band.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, I think there's way more members of Integrity than there are of Cherem.
Yeah. They're all just little kids from Europe, right? They're like little Belgian kids. He like has a little like stable of Belgian children.
Man, I wish they were real children. That would be like the ultimate
like 17 years old.
of Dwid's insanity. Is like 5-year-olds playing Integrity songs.
It's a sweatshop for fucking band members.
It's the School of Rock.
Like pseudo-Nazi uniforms or something.
School of Rock, instead of Jack Black, it's just fucking Dwid.
Did I become the swing vote here? True.
Yeah, we all know Casey was hard right. I'm hard left. Dan's alt right.
Casey in a shirt with a collar, hard right. Casey in his Bloodlet hoodie, alt right.
No.
Oh shit.
I'll suck Joe Biden's dick right now. Tonight.
The glasses on. Okay. I'm wavering. Drew, what was your call?
I had to go Disembodied.
That Disembodied record is more like it's like a blueprint.
Yeah.
Right? Because you think of, Integrity, to me, the record is good, but it doesn't transcend anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the basis for, this entire new wave of hardcore and metal coming into music, right? People love the record, but Disembodied, to me, has way more, like, appeal and way more range.
But that's the thing. Like this is where I kind of like disagree, because like the whole thing of like us picking the best metalcore record of our generation.
Of our generation.
But Integrity embodies all of those things. It's like this is what like you play Integrity, and this is like, hey, you want to start a metalcore band? Put this on, learn to play these songs, and this is what you want to do. And then there's like a derivative from that.
I'd argue that like that was true through the 2000s, but if you look at 2010 on, Disembodied is in everything. Like
yeah, but
like you don't hear Integrity in hardcore at all the way you do Disembodied now.
Okay,
I think
but
you
does
did
Disembodied,
but like Code Orange, Knocked Loose, like look at every band that has become a hype band that has a heavy style. Harm's Way, like you don't hear Integrity there the way you hear Disembodied there.
Do you have Disembodied if you never had Integrity? In 1980, what, 7? 88? When was this album? 89? Do you have Disembodied without this?
If you have Cro-Mags and you have slam metal, yeah.
Maybe. But, like, these are the first, like, straight-edge hardcore kids to do this kind of shit, right?
I mean, again, there are no wrong answers here. These are the two albums that, like, shape all of Salt Lake hardcore, have shaped every band we've ever been in, no matter what you want to, like, say. Like, any band, like, Cherem, City to City, Burden of Creation, Outlet, all of those bands can be tied back to Dog Welder. Sorry, Casey, I didn't mean to exclude you there. all of those bands can be tied back to these two records in some way, shape, or form. There is no wrong answer. The fact that one of them has to lose is what makes this game fun.
Here's the other hot take.
Okay, I've got it.
If you start the Disembodied record, it's a fucking killing spree for 5 songs. The Integrity record has some lows, but that Disembodied record is a fucking it doesn't stop.
Yep. That's
There it
true.
is.
That's true.
You could murder more people in those 5 songs than in the whole Integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's very nice.
I actually, you know, what's funny too is Burden of Creation, was a band called Dislocated, and if I recall correctly, they actually got their name from Disembodied.
yeah, Dislocation, the third song right there on God Only Knew.
Yeah.
I was going to start a band called Heroin Fingers, but it just didn't seem popular.
Not a good straight edge band name.
No.
Unless you, but I mean that's like
also like more of an online goth porn site than band name.
but that's the hero, like the female hero version of Heroin, not the drug version.
Oh, that's Heroin Fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. Way to fuck my joke up, buddy.
Not a good band name.
Still terrible band name, actually. Yeah.
I mean, congratulations to Disembodied.
Yeah.
I don't think this surprises anyone, but I feel like there were a lot of twists and turns in there I did not expect.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, when Casey said that, like, first out of the gate, like, the one that's going to win, I didn't know what he was talking about until we got to Those Who Fear Tomorrow on the list. And I was like, oh, that's one he thinks, for sure.
But I had my bracket shapes up in the top half almost identically. The bottom half's a little different, but
that's the thing. Like, I threw on my list was just, I think Those Who Fear Tomorrow was the first one on my list. Like, that's just the one that came out. Integrity, Humanity is the Devil, Those Who Fear Tomorrow, and If God Only Knew are my top 3. And it's like, so, I mean, like I said, there are no wrong answers when it gets to those last two. There were some wrong answers earlier in the bracket, absolutely, but when we got to the end, there weren't.
Yeah, one thing I took away listening to all these records is, like, we had such a low bar for music production. Having listened to like some of these newer records a lot that I put on the list, like the Harm's Way records or Incendiary records that we record, I've gotten used to like a level of quality that didn't even exist when most of these were recorded. It's so hard to find one where you're like, if I played this next to something today, it would sound finished, which is crazy.
No, everything just has the loudest snare drum.
Yeah. Like, there's no depth to it, you know what I mean? Like, I remember trying to, you know, as a bass player, trying to play bass on some of these records where you can't hear the bass is really fucking hard. You know? I think that's why the 18 Visions record made it so far along. I mean, you could actually hear every element in that record.
Yeah, it was mixed really well.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Yeah,
that's why.
Good.
That's why I put it on there. I was like, when I was making my list, I re-listened to that album, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how good this record is and how much we just pretended that it didn't exist once Vanity came out.
Oh, Vanity, that's right.
Oh, Vanity was next, huh?
There might have been some other factors that made you want to distance yourself from the Southern
maybe
California thing.